Good morning, I'm back in my favourite home, Trinity College, talking about Cal. Now you see, there's something very important here, that the marks on his feet, they're not the marks of the crucifixion. Can you see them? Now he's made white like the angels in the book of Daniel. He's mentioned in the Bible, his name is Callaghan. He's actually the rod of the Lord's indignation. You see, he has the rod in his hand there. He's the Swan King from Cashel, the Rock of Cashel. In the saga of King Callaghan and Lady Moore, or the Circuit of Ireland, there's a poem that was recently discovered to be the poem that matches the picture just there over there. Coring locks and blade of plate, you're not afraid to fabricate. He created the Book of Kells. A squinting eye, a steady glare, you make crystal clear. Wielding strokes, it goes down to him squinting his eye and wielding strokes, but that's not why I'm here. Why I'm here is to say that this is one of the most significant discoveries in Christian history, that they are actually the angels that fell many days from the Book of Kells. That's why they're made white. Many will fall many days only to help. And that we used to look like that, but because of imputed iniquity, which is DNA degradation, we don't come from monkeys, we actually come from the angels. That's why we're called angel Saxons or Gaels. And that we actually, this man is actually recorded in the Bible here speaking. His name is Cal. It's the only prophecy in Proverbs I can see. Maybe there's another one. The words of a God to Jake, even the prophecy. The man spake unto Ethelstan, Attila the Khan, even unto Cal. There's Callaghan up there. That's him. And over here is a picture of the four masters. The four masters could represent Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales. They were the angels that looked after us when the Lord sent it down, and he says hand a second time. So you actually used to look like an angel. Well, your ancestors look like an angel, but because of imputed iniquity, which is DNA degradation, they can check DNA. You can look at DNA degradation under a microscope, and what it is every generation of humans subsequently since Cal and Ethel have actually had their DNA pulled apart by the Lord. So he says, blessed is the man who the Lord imputes no iniquity to. So people that look a bit, start to look a bit different, like the rising of the kings. So I have to mention this. This is Imperial Britain and Ireland. This is the epitome of divine authority on the earth. That's why all sovereignty, all kings claim sovereignty and descendants from the Rock of Cashel. That's why in 1100 the Pope took the harp from Cashel and gave it to the Crown Corporation. He was the only English Pope. So they're definitely the angels out of the Bible, the ones that will fell many days and were made white. You can see they're all painted white. So that's a significant discovery. The poem actually identifies Hugh Callaghan, the Swan King, as the man who created the Book of Kells. So there's no doubt about it. It's in numerous contemporary writings of the time of the Irish chiefs who used to tell the Normans we're hundreds of years old, but the Normans wouldn't believe it. But we actually have evidence of the rod of the Lord's indignation throughout history as the angel of the Lord who lived at the rock and the high tower at the ends of the earth. So the rock, Jerusalem is not at the end of the earth. Psalm 61 says that he lived for many generations. Because he has the marks on his heel, Dan is a serpent by the way that strikes at the heel of the rider. It clearly identifies him as the angel that the Lord sends to fight Dan. So why would he have marks on his heels? Well, you think about it, he's able to fly, and they have spears and shields, and he's above their head, they're stabbing him in the heels. Dan is a serpent, by the way, that strikes at the heel of the rider. So they're not the crucifixion marks, they're actually the marks of the rider. So he's the pale rider that kills there. He's red in apparel. And he's perfectly described in the poem, Coring locks and blade of plate in the Circuit of Ireland. It's 100% it's him. So every one of them is made white. So how Christian scholars have missed the fact that these are the angels from the book of Daniel that fell many days and were made white only to help, and that will return a second time to recover the remnant of his people. You see the right hand is prominent, that means that the tribe of Benjamin. So without a doubt, he's the pale rider from the book of Revelations because he's marked on the heel. So they've left a lot of messages for us. So I don't know what the rest of the stuff is, but this is a significant thing. It's the only It's actually the words. And then he goes into talking about, what's he say? I neither learn wisdom. He's being sarcastic. Think English king. I neither learn wisdom nor have the knowledge of the holy, who have ascended unto heaven. He's the one that ascends unto heaven, or descended, who had gathered the wind in his fist. He's talking about the Lord, who had bound the waters in a garment, who had established all the ends of the earth. What is his name? Jehovah. And what is his son's name? So in the Old Testament we have written confirmation from the angel Yucal that Jesus and God the Father are in heaven. And thou not unto his words, let the reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. Something like that. So anyway, then he goes into talking about the most important thing is the chain of command. We're looking at a lot of changes in Britain. We're looking at a pro-testament movement starting up. Because this is the Testament. The book of Kells are the 4 books of the Testament. Now I was in here the other day talking to a guy, and he says you can't get to look at the books even if you're a college graduate, and they have books upstairs on the flat earth and stuff like that. Now this is what these men were teaching, and the Bible is teaching that we don't actually live on a globe. So it's very significant stuff, especially to the Irish culture, to discover that an angel lived at the Rock of Cashel, and his name was Callaghan, and he's actually the man that's going to come back as the Pale Rider to conquer because he's painted white, clearly identifies him. And there's the marks of the serpent that strikes at the heel of the rider, so they're definitely the angels in the Bible. I found the book of Daniel, no doubt about it. So this is a significant time in Christian teachings. So you have the chain of command in Imperial Britain and Ireland, and this is how the chain of command goes. It goes Jesus, the husband, the wife and the children. That's the rules, you can't break them.